So, what a pleasure to be here at the end of this remarkable day. You're going to hear in a few minutes this mock trial, and it's going to make you angry about the oil industry, as it should. I've been hard at work on this problem for nigh on to 40 years now. And the problem for those 40 years has always been that oil is cheap, and that's made it very, very hard to stand up to fossil fuel. But right now, even as things go very badly in this world on many fronts, there is one thing that's going very, very well. And that's the fact that all of a sudden, in the last 18 months or so, around planet Earth, there is a sudden explosion in the growth of renewable energy. We are finally getting there. Beginning in China, about 18 months ago, solar is now growing faster than any energy source in history. Every 18 hours, we put up a gigawatt's worth of solar panels, which is like a coal-fired power plant or a nuclear power plant every 18 hours. If we can increase that about 50%, we'll be on pace to what we're supposed to be under the Paris Climate Accords. In all the years that I've been working on this, it's the first thing that's really gone right. Now, you heard earlier today from Reverend Yearwood and from Antonique Smith about this Sunday thing that we've got planned, because we have to do the work to take advantage of this moment. We have to do the work to make it clear to people that this is no longer alternative energy. This is not the Whole Foods of energy, nice but pricey. This is the Costco of energy. It's the cheap stuff available in bulk on the shelf. We can do this, and if we do it, if we drive this message home, even in Trump's America, then we have a chance not only to take the edge off climate change, the very worst of it anyway, we also have a chance to stop filling the air with the particulates that kill 9 million people a year on this planet, and we have the chance to start liberating people from the oligarchs who control the small deposits of coal and oil and gas that now help determine the fate of this earth. We can turn to energy from heaven instead of from hell, okay? But we've got to do it fast, because that's how fast climate change is breaking over our heads. And if it's going to happen, it will happen because of us, because we stand up and build a movement big enough to matter. So go to sunday.earth. Your first task is to draw one of these beautiful suns to help fill out this logo, and your second task is to figure out what in your community or in your neighborhood you're going to do to make this happen on September 21st. If it's a big day, then it will be a big win, and by God, we need some big wins right now. Thank you all so much. And now I'm going to sit down and take my place in this trial. Sunday, absolutely. Thank you, Rev. I think something's supposed to happen now.
And he's right. Something is supposed to happen. It's me. Welcome to Messaging on the Stand, the Hollywood Climate Summit's first ever mock trial. You will see our teams of comedian lawyers put the misleading messaging and communication tactics of fossil fuel companies on the stand with the help of our expert witnesses. This is an experimental, improvisational, very, very funny trial based on facts. And if you're looking for what's real, the actual evidence of these nefarious messaging tactics will be on the screen for you to refer to, regardless of how our lawyers spin it, twist it, flip it, or reverse it. Court is now in session. All rise for the Honorable Judge Simone Missick.
saw that.
Sorry.
You may be seated. I am the Honorable Judge Simone Missick, and we are going to be hearing 3 pieces of evidence in the case of the people versus Big Oil. The fossil fuel companies are charged with misleading the public against their own interests and health, lying to the American public about the deadly effects of fossil fuels and climate change despite knowing otherwise, funding misleading advertising campaigns and an infiltration of commercial media storytelling and racketeering. The prosecution may give their opening statements.
Thank you so much, Judge. You look incredible.
Do not try to
So do you.
What?
Jury.
You cannot start with that.
Experts, incredible. Sunday. Just to, hey guys. Here's the thing, okay? Fossil fuel companies have been using the media to spread disinformation surrounding the climate for decades. Boo!
Okay.
They've utilized common entertainment methods to lie about the deadly effects of fossil fuel extraction, use, and their acceleration of the climate crisis. They've spent billions of dollars advertising. For example, $5.6 billion just to advertise for sports, on sports jerseys.
Hey, it's a free country, man.
Whoa! Judge! Thank you. That gavel has a lot of power. I was like, ooh. This case is similar to the cases that we've seen before, largely against cigarette companies, because the way that cigarette companies and manufacturers feigned ignorance while they were killing the consumers. So before we begin, I would like to make sure that that is the next thing I'm going to do. I would like to call on climate OG, godfather of climate. Get ready. Call it a 4th act because he's about to steal the stage. Please welcome, sharing a personal story, Mr. Bill McKibben.
Boo!
Order.
Your Honor.
Saturday.
Your Honor.
Much better day.
Your Honor. This trial proceeds under a cloud. I want to tell you a story. Back long ago in the 1980s, before most of this court was yet born, when I was writing the first book about what we now call climate change, what we then called the greenhouse effect, we now know that the big fossil fuel companies were busy investigating this phenomenon too. Exxon outfitted all its oil tankers with carbon dioxide monitors so they could study what was happening. They put lots of scientists to work with big computer models. And we now know from digging through their archives and from interviewing whistleblowers that they knew, back when we were first writing about this, exactly what was going on.
So you hate science, is what you're saying.
I love science, and I love
Not our science?
I love it so much that it really pains me to watch what the oil industry did with it. They knew, their scientists told, let's talk about Exxon for a moment, their scientists told them how hot it was going to be in 2020 with spot-on accuracy. Their science was good. They had good scientists.
Thank you.
And Exxon's management believed their scientists. In fact, we now know from great reporting in the Los Angeles Times that Exxon in the early 1990s started building all their drilling rigs higher because they knew that the seas would be rising. The only thing they did not do was tell the rest of us. Instead, they spent across this industry billions of dollars building an architecture of deceit and denial and disinformation that has cost us the 30 years we desperately needed. So as this trial proceeds, Your Honor, just bear in mind the conduct of this industry in the past when you're weighing what they have to say in the present. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Who is that guy again? I don't think he knows that much about climate science, to tell you the truth.
Defense.
Okay, yeah, ready? I'll start.
Good luck,
okay.
brother.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to say big. You say oil. Big. Big. I can tell you guys are enthusiastic. Welcome to court. I want to first point out Esteban, supposedly on your side, came out, first thing he said was complimenting the judge on her looks. Would he have done that if she was a man? Probably not. What? I'm not going to take orders from you guys. I think there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about what we do with big oil. A lot of people complain about recycling because they say it's something we did to make you think that you have power when in real life we have the power. Absolutely right. Yeah, see, I'm with you, lady, but a lot of people shame us for they say 8 to 10% of all plastic is recycled. And that's supposed to be bad. But if you say it like this, 8 to 10% of plastic is recycled.
Woo!
Yeah!
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? If you had a daughter and your daughter was spending so much money at piano recitals and piano lessons, bear with me, I'm a lawyer. And she comes home and she wants to play Fur Elise for you guys, and you sit there and she gets 8 to 10% of that song correct. Are you gonna go, you have wronged us? We spent all the money and you only got 8 to 10. No, you're happy that yes, you are.
Oh, so you hate children?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really thought you guys were gonna be on my side for that one. There's also a lot to be talked about recycling. We all love recycling. I'm gonna say you guys say cycle, See, it's good. Something people shame us about recycling is that there are so many numbers. There's only 37 numbers to memorize. Is that too much? Yes. There's a fun mnemonic device, and it's a little song we like to sing. We're all gonna sing it together, okay, you guys?
Yep.
It goes like this. It goes, 1, 2, 3, you can recycle me. 4, 5, 7, no you can't. 8, 6, 7, 17. Recycle me, but I gotta be clean. It keeps going, and no one's joining me. We spent so much time. Paul Simon wrote that.
We paid him $6 million for that.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to like him because he performed for an apartheid crowd.
Oh, you guys stand Paul Simon?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who? Harry Belafonte? No?
I end with this. I close with this. Everybody wanted us to do something about it, and we wanted a little bit of help. But we said, you know what? We can all help by not killing turtles, and we'll give you guys paper straws. And what did you guys say about the paper straws?
You hated them.
They get soggy.
You hated them.
You hated them. And they're virtually impossible to snort cocaine out of. I rest my case.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Unfortunately, that was not what I asked. I wanted to know why you thought you weren't guilty on what the prosecution presented. So if we can get your retort on that one, please. We're waiting.
Yeah, you skipped the opening statement.
Anything?
We
Yes,
weren't
Ann.
the same people as the oil executives in the 80s and 90s that you guys have been talking about. That's not us personally. You
Got
guys
it.
know that, right?
Okay.
We were babies, so.
I was not even born. I'm young and skinny.
Gotcha. Okay. That is that part. The
We're the current
prosecution may
generation.
now present their evidence on individual action.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. They apparently came prepared knowing the rules and regulations of the legal
A
system.
little bit excited.
I'm sorry.
Little bit of grandstanding over here. Objection. very much.
Let me first say, male in the front row, you look ravishing. You look beautiful. It's a thing I do, regardless
He's
of
talking to George R.R.
of
Martin, by
gender
the way.
and gender expression.
There you go, just assuming
just-
people's genders.
Let me just get ahead of it and say everyone here. looks gorgeous, elegant, fierce. Well, Joey, that you really responded to things that we didn't even say,
Merely setting the stage.
which is an incredible way to read the script, an out of order. It's a real, you like watch the Netflix choose your own adventure thing and you're like, second act? Now it feels like a first. Let's switch it.
Let's stick to the facts, please.
All right, here's the facts. Okay, Big Oil, it's funded campaigns
What more will you?
for decades that place the blame on individuals. Okay, so they funded campaigns that shift blame from them into individuals. For example, let's take one example. This is litter campaigns. This is a real litter campaign. Get involved now. Pollution hurts all of us. This was funded in 1970s by Keep America Beautiful, which is a bunch of people came together. Actually, in 1953, Coca-Cola Dixie Cup came together, and they put millions of dollars behind this. And this is shocking. That is not an indigenous person. That's just an Italian American.
They're indigenous to Italy.
That's a standard. That's your standard run-of-the-mill Italian American. Isn't that wild? They did this.
Why you gotta pick on the Italian Americans?
That's actually
Are
my
you
nonna,
Jewish or
okay?
Italian?
So,
Oh, baby.
chill.
All right, yo, one of our guys is, one of the groups
That's
you're
my
discriminating
dad you're
against.
talking
Yeah, that's
So what they did is rather than force the companies to change, and this is real, as we all know, is that then you would fine individuals for litter, right? So rather than regulate companies to stop creating trash, they said if you throw away trash, you have to pay a personal fine, which is absolutely wild. The second is the thing that I want to talk about is plastic, which Joey already tried to get ahead of.
Just setting the stage again.
So they got really excited about plastic, right? And they said, oh my gosh, plastic can be recycled. They spread those myths, but only 8 to 10% of plastic has ever been recycled. Excuse me, Judge.
Remember when I said that?
Fine, counselor.
And then spent $50 million a year to popularize plastic. And so many things. For example, even the personal carbon footprint was created by BP.
This typewriter font is deceptive. It makes it look really like serious for real facts and information, but really it's just what you chose in Keynote.
That's actually true. That one I agree with. Look at this. So they make you feel the illusion, and then they just print out more and more and more. They say, hey, this is on you. Why aren't you recycling? That is it. They've shifted the blame. They make us feel guilty, where they have spent millions and millions of dollars making sure that we feel guilty, so we're distracted about who is to blame.
But
Thank
it
you.
was a beautiful infographic, no?
Thank you so much. We are their prosecution, and we are done.
Counselor, I do have a question about something you mentioned. You said that BP, they promoted the carbon footprint.
Absolutely. This is why you're the judge.
Just making sure that the jury
Yeah,
has
she's
all
the best
facts.
judge on your team right now.
No, that was very fair. So BP created the carbon footprint. Look at this. It was in 2004, or in 2004 they created the carbon footprint calculator. Again, right? So they're saying instead of the things that they're doing, they're saying you take this test and feel guilty, and then you have to figure out what to do with that. It's so good when he speaks that I think we should get a little more context about what all this means in this world of shifting blame from the system, from the corporations to the individual, from Bill McKibben again.
Let me
Thursday.
Let me address this briefly and to the point. For a long time, the fossil fuel industry has done its best to make this
We have done our best.
individual-
Thank you, Bill McKibben.
Yeah, that's right. To make this an individual problem. Look, I have solar panels all over my roof, and I've had them for years. They connect to the e-bike in the garage. I'm proud of that, but I'm not fool enough to believe that that's how we're going to solve this problem. The most important thing an individual can do is be a little less of an individual and join together with others in movements large enough
Communism.
to change the ground rules here. That's why we're doing Sunday, and that's why these guys are scared of movements.
We are not scared. We're very brave. All three of us.
Defense, what is your response?
I'm gonna go
Are
again.
you going to say it all again?
I'm
or-
gonna say it all again. First of all, Bill, expert, not in dress code.
Hey, don't comment on men's looks.
Okay. Very good point. Oh, okay. Weird. Didn't like that.
Kill him with kindness.
Bill, the symbol for Sunday looks like a butthole. Did I say that yet? Everyone's mad at us. Everyone's mad at us about this plastic. Oh, because we invented a fine for litter. Oh, because we made it illegal to put trash on the ground. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're not going to, I'm so sorry you're going to get fined for your water bottle of pee when Amazon throws that on the street. That was us. That was us. Just because you don't throw your trash away, you guys are going to get mad at us? Do you know what we're doing with our trash? We're making an island in the middle of the Pacific.
And it's actually sick.
Yeah, it's actually really, really dope.
Actually really cool.
It's like Hawaii, but you can barely stand on it. So,
We're going to be selling plots on the island starting in the next 18 months.
you can buy it from Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Oprah Winfrey. I also want to leave you on this because I ate up all my time when I thought I was supposed to go and I accidentally did. Say it with me one more time. Try doing coke out of a paper straw. I rest my case.
Order. This guy's clearly off the rails. I think he
'Cause I
did
did my
coke
coke
out
with
of a
paper
plastic straw. So the defense has submitted new material for their argument.
Yes,
for
that's right,
rebuttal.
Judge. Our comms team has just sent this video that honestly is going to be the nail in your coffin. So, roll tape, read it, and...
It's time. Just gotta remember to breathe. What was that, man?
Really?
Will.
Not his fault.
They're having a
This
baby.
is what a hospital would look like without oil and natural gas, and nobody wants this.
Find a different hospital.
Whoa. Check this out. Baby, this way. As I was saying, without oil and gas, hospitals wouldn't have what they need to keep us healthy,
Pretty
heal
cool.
wounds, save lives, and deliver little bundles of joy. Products made from oil and gas are all around us. And without them, our lives would be a whole lot messier.
Can you leave now?
You might want to double bag that.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Yeah.
We say big. You say oil.
Big? Big? Okay, how about you say oil, we say big? Okay.
Okay.
Didn't work that way either, actually.
You guys are bad at following instructions. But here, okay. Judge, folks, people, you people. So look, the evidence is right in front of us, okay? Here's the deal. Do we want to live in a world built by fossil fuels, by plastics, inundated with plastics? We don't, right? But guess what? It's not our choice anymore. Our ancestors made that decision for us, and now we have a global population that can only be sustained by the equipment made by plastics. So unless you guys want to kill 2/3 of the global population, which I know, I saw Bill McKibben scribbling that on the men's room wall, by the way. There's no way that we can get rid of plastics. You
Objection.
all got plastics all over your business right now. All over your bodies and your business.
Objection.
Yeah, but she's the one you object to.
Okay, well, objection. By the
Yes,
power vested
Counselor.
in my giant shoulder pads, I issue an objection.
I submit to that power, though, by the way.
Okay, thank
Take
you.
it away.
Power dressing. Okay, hi, Big Oil.
Hi.
Done a lot of chanting. We say big, we say oil.
Oil.
Nope, stop.
Big.
Stop.
Big.
Stop. Listen, it may be true that many of the materials and processes displayed in that ad are fueled by oil and gas, or, are made of petroleum byproducts, but I would like to present at what cost. At what cost? Again, we love plastic. Yes?
Yeah!
Yeah, exactly. However, again, as we heard Bill McKibben say earlier, we need to band together. Despite us having, a little bit of ease of life made by plastic here and there, at what cost does it come? We all live on this earth, do we not? Bill McKibben is not scribbling kill 2.3 billion people on
It's 2.4.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, again, objection, agree to disagree. Listen, let's talk about health for a minute. Pollution from oil production results in 7.4 billion deaths and health damage.
Wait, that's the whole world. So you're saying we killed the entire world?
I mean, shit, you may as well. Plastic is everywhere. Again, give me a second. The economic cost of these additional cases of morbidity and mortality due to climate change is estimated to reach between 8.6 and 20.8 trillion dollars.
Trillion.
That's not fair. You're big oil. You make a lot of money, and those numbers are kind of digging us like into our graves. Big oil. Do you not feel anything about that? You're rolling your eyes.
Made a gazillion.
Yes, that's right. And I'm saying, look, we care about you. Did you not see the hospital video? Let's run that thing back one more time.
No.
I don't think
we're not going to run it back. We're not going to run it back. We've seen it. We've seen enough. Honestly speaking, that was a wild tactic employed by the big oil team, for goodness sakes, showing us the birth of a child.
That was directed by Roman Polanski.
And that alone strengthens my case. Holy shit. I'm going to call on another real lawyer just like myself. Adrian Martinez, please save us from this shit.
Good evening. My name is Adrian Martinez, and I'm an attorney for Earth Justice. We're a nonprofit. Thank you. We're a nonprofit environmental law firm, and I work in Los Angeles for the last 2 decades. Been working on battling smog pollution in the nation's smog capital. When I was getting ready for this tonight, my daughter said, "You're not super funny," so I take that. That was a compliment.
That got
Just
a
kidding.
big laugh though. In your daughter's face, frankly, that was a good joke.
So here's the big thing about the fossil fuel industry. They want to create a problem, and then they want to sell us the solution so they can eke out every penny from all of us. We're smarter than that in Los Angeles. We're smarter than that as Americans, and we're smarter than that as global citizens, and we need to stand up to them. Our planet is telling us that the status quo isn't working, and that's especially what's happening here in Los Angeles. We were just ranked again the most ozone polluted region in the country.
Woo! Congrats
for
to
the
us.
last 25 years. The primary culprit are those folks over there. One of the things is Earth Justice is on the front line fighting.
You're dissing the sign language interpreter? That guy's just doing his job, man.
Earth Justice is working with groups on the front line of this air pollution, and the air pollution is personal. Many of my clients have members with children with asthma. They have to sit on the sidelines during the summer when they play soccer or baseball, and they can't. They can't because they have asthma and they're sick. These oil industry executives want them to go on the sideline, take a puff from their inhaler, and look at it and say, "Oh, thank God for the oil industry making this plastic inhaler for me." That is an absurd proposition.
Yet they buy vapes with their allowance.
Come on, everyone hold up your vape.
Yeah. But overall, Earth Justice is working with a lot of great groups in Los Angeles to work with parents, work with people to push back on this fossil fuel misinformation. There's currently several campaigns going on where I've seen that the fossil fuel industry is doubling down on these tactics. They're engaging in massive misinformation campaigns to make it seem like their products are good for us. They're not. So we need all of us to stand up to these bullies and tell them we want zero emission solutions and we want them now.
Audience, really quickly.
Settle down, guys.
No.
It wasn't
Lastly,
that good.
can someone please bring up the picture of our wonderful water bear? There he is. Don't we love him, water bear tardigrade? Again, this isn't just a human issue. This affects all life on Earth. Is this not life?
It doesn't look like life to me.
You're talking
what the hell am I looking at?
You're talking shit about life, bro. Chill out. This affects all life on Earth. Again, this is a water bear, this creature. It's
What
the only...
are you talking about?
Isn't this
is-
doomed?
If you let her say it, you'll find out.
I'm 3 seconds from crawling up your ass.
No.
Listen,
That is
This-
not a real animal.
that's a real
Objection.
animal.
That is not a real animal.
I will hold you in contempt, counselor.
You look actually pissed though. It's a mock trial.
Let
It is a water bear. Again, it is a water bear. It's the only creature on Earth that does not consume microplastics. And I know y'all be on that microplastic shit too.
Yes, but microplastics are, look, it's transhumanism. Do you understand?
No,
when
God.
human beings and their environment form into one thing, right? We're essentially making you RoboCop. And you're over here telling us, you're like complaining about that? That is absolutely ridiculous. You should be thankful because the microplastics are, in fact, and this is proven, we have a study, it's scrubbing all of the free radicals out from your body.
And the water's making the frogs gay? More shit
Really?
like that? Okay.
There's more evidence on that? Because
Okay.
we've been working on that one too.
Okay, Judge, I object.
But
bring
we're
out
trying to make the frogs
the
gay. We're
lobsters,
very,
or
like,
whatever
progressive.
legal jargon.
All right, order.
Bring in the dancing.
Order. We are moving on, both sides, thank you, to the children versus Big Oil. Now, the prosecution will submit their final piece of evidence in the case of the people versus Big Oil.
Yes, clap for me because I am good. All right, I'm representing the children because they are our future. Now, Big Oil has been targeting children for generations. If you don't know, generations is a very long time. To tie back into our initial argument, I would like to present a video for the court that advertising uses to get plastics to the children. Check this out, you guys.
Presenting the possibilities of plastics. Plastics help save you from dents and broken bones. It helped protect my patella.
Sick.
They help
Rollerblades.
save energy. Thin light plastics, fewer trucks, less gas. They help save you from being scrambled. They help save the soda. They help food stay fresher. Brussels sprouts? Plastics can even help save toddlers from trouble. And this vest helps save my dad's life. Plastics make it possible.
It was a
yeah.
better time. It was a time when only white children got cast in these commercials.
Here's the thing, you guys. You know that commercial is bad because it's so old they never made another one. And we have evidence of Republican lawmakers going into schools to read children books. And you know that's bad because Republicans never do that. The books that they are doing this with are penned by Big Oil. Now, as you can see on the screen, Oklahoma's oil and natural gas has its own line of books about Petro Pete. They have spent $40 million over the past 2 decades on providing education, with a pro-industry bent.
Woo!
All right? So,
Petro Joey Petriano and Petro Abdullah disagree. All right? We grew up with this curriculum, and frankly, it taught us everything that we know about oil and gas. Okay? And we're pretty freaking smart when it comes to oil and gas, you know?
Okay, well, that's good for you. But not good for the children, and that's who I'm here for, right?
We are the children.
You used to be a child, and now you're an adult who is doing some really bad stuff, and that's why we need other adults to speak truth to power, and that's what we're doing, right? Thank you. So Shell sponsored an entire, in quotation marks, Shell Ultimate Road Trips campaign for the game Fortnite, which is targeted at teens and young adults and men who like to act like teens. Fortnite has 650 million registered users. Now, get ready, and this is their tagline, you guys. Get ready for an adventure that is all about speed, acceleration, and performance, powered by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. You guys, we all know that if a tagline is that long, it's full of lies and bad. Okay? Now, 6 fossil fuel companies, including BP, Chevron, Exxon, and Shell, spent an estimated $700 million on academic research programs between 2010 and 2020. Internal communications from Shell revealed their plans to embed Shell scientists at the University of California in Berkeley. Okay, where Shell spent over $25 million over 5 years to fund the university's Biosciences Institute, okay? I know, boo that. Yes, you can all boo. All together, boo.
Big!
Big boo. Good job, you guys. But basically what we're saying is we always have had the money for science, but what we're trying to do is make sure that the money that we're using for science is actually to help us, not to help them, right? Because when they get money, you know.
There's no us and them with us. We're all one big, happy family, okay? We're all human beings.
And we all know that when a company says that, they're full of shit. So just know that we're here not only to help the children, but we're also here to help everybody who is being affected by big oil, which is these guys over here.
Yeah.
And now,
big.
And I would like to call expert witnesses, Jessie and Saad.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jessie Bluedorn, founder and executive director of the Carmack Collective. I spent a lot of time, thank you, that's nice. Spent a lot of time thinking about fossil fuel industry and the narratives that they fund. And let me tell you, the examples the prosecution just gave, they are only the tip of the iceberg, pun intended. You can laugh there.
Yes.
When it comes to big oil,
Making a Titanic joke, sick.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Messed up.
Making a Titanic joke.
A lot of people died.
Too soon? It's fine. But you are explicitly targeting children and adolescents. And we'd have to be in this courtroom, honestly, for days to cover all of the examples that we have in just recent years of you targeting children with your lies about fossil fuels. And this isn't just our opinion, okay? We are experts, we're real experts. I want to quote to you some leaked BP internal creative documents from 2020 explicitly saying that they need to win the trust of young people and convince them that big oil is not the bad guy.
Where'd you get those?
Yeah, and also, what company is not doing that? If you went to, whoever makes Starburst, they have the same mission. They have the same document with the same thing written.
That's also us, by the way. We make Starburst.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So,
but yeah,
I'd love to supplement the evidence provided by the fabulous prosecution and provide the court and the jury with a few additional examples of fossil fuel industry messaging that directly targets young people, which is honestly a really gross thing to do, okay? So, first of all, esports partnerships. Esports, for those who don't know, I had to Google this, is competitive video gaming. And it's incredibly popular with young people ages 16 to 35, and apparently in some circles more popular than regular sports.
But that's why we advertise. See, you didn't even know what esports was. Like, we're cool. We know what esports are. So we advertise to people.
We just got to think about it really quick because knowing about sports that aren't real doesn't necessarily make you cool.
Oh, they're very real.
I will concede that you know what esports is. Again, embarrassing. However, more than 5 major fossil fuel companies have signed huge sponsorship deals with esports over the last 5 years, and there are over 500 million young people, that's 500 million, who tune in to watch these streams every year. Think about how many young people are seeing the absolute propaganda that big oil is putting into their video games. That's right.
Ooh.
The other example I'd like to bring is that in addition to research and writing frankly very weird curriculum, the fossil fuel industry is also showing up at university campuses around the country and trying to recruit students directly to work for them. They're promising huge paychecks and false promises of active participation in a just transition to green energy, which we know is bullshit.
We're offering people jobs. There's a job crisis in this country. Sorry.
I think Bill would love to talk about Sunday again, am I right? But with that, I yield my time to my fellow expert, Saad.
Thank you. And if I may please the court, I'd like to start by addressing how creepy it is that a lot of old white men these oily old white men are targeting children. Can we start there? That part.
You're against interracial relationships? That's messed up.
I don't know if your interracial relationship, kind of helps you from the massive global death that you're causing to, many nations all across the world with your weird oily tactics targeting children. So I'd like to start by outlining how the fossil fuel industry not only knew about climate change for decades, but it has shifted its strategy that it has used to target young people, children, and the public at large. At first, there was a whole denial situation where they were denying outright that climate change was happening. They've since shifted their tactics to acknowledge at some level that it's happening, but to feed into it to delay any sort of action as much as they can. And they have established a full ecosystem of disinformation across traditional media, social media, in schools, in museums, events, wherever you go. They are trying to distract you from the thing that you're there for and to try and subtly get us to not take action on the climate crisis. And in particular, they've designed this ecosystem of events. You can look at things like the esports events that were just outlined, but even you go to fun sporting events like F1, and you see all over the jackets of these race car drivers. Children are going, they're like, oh my God, I love race cars. Oh my God, NASCAR.
Yeah, that's what children are like all the time, right?
You know all about what children are like.
Hey, yeah.
You go to museums and you see how so many of them actually recently are now stripping themselves of the sponsorship money that they agreed to take from the fossil fuel industry, because the fossil fuel industry would go into these institutions, science institutions, the British Museum, the Tate Museum, science museum groups, and would put their money there so they could place their logo next to real science to create the illusion that they were doing real science. The public got wind of this, got angry, and many of those have since been repealed. Yes. But at the same time, we still see these companies trying to get in front of you. And social media is one driver where we see this happening all the time. Just recently, oftentimes you can even go on the pages of many of these fossil fuel companies, and they will be like, oh my God, we love renewable energy. We love solar, we love wind. We totally have that. And then you look at their balance sheets, and they're investing less than 1% of their money in any sort of R&D or applications of those sustainable energies into the world. And so there's this act of lying and deception where they're trying to create the illusion that they're the good guys. They've created the problem. They're trying to feed us that they are the solution as well. And a recent case, Client Earth sued BP for creating these false impressions online, and actually BP had to withdraw the ads.
Greenwashing.
Greenwashing. We're seeing greenwashing, we're seeing woke washing, where you'll even see fossil fuel companies try and promote women's rights and social justice, the LGBTQ, yes, queen.
Why is that a bad thing? We're here, we're trying to support, we're trying to do progressive causes, we're trying to recognize our own stuff. Because if we didn't do that, then you'd say, why aren't you guys supporting, all these marginalized communities? And when we do it, you're like, why are you doing that? What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what you're supposed to do is support renewable energy so that we can actually have a planet that works for everyone.
And there's always the constant irony of, oh, we're supporting women, we're supporting all of these marginalized communities, but they're the ones marginalizing the communities, right? And to that point, I'd like to share a personal anecdote where I myself have been a victim of bad fossil fuel advertising. So a couple years back, the media platform Business Insider wrote a profile piece on me and the work that I do to mobilize young people and people of color to get out and vote and take action in our democracy.
Woo, fake news.
Well, it's interesting that you call it fake news, because when you look at the article, every other paragraph was an ad from ExxonMobil.
Yeah!
Fake news!
I'm starting to feel like you guys are maybe not on our side, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Oh my God, we're making them nervous. And so it goes to show how they're trying to create this ecosystem of disinformation, particularly targeting young people who might not know all the facts, going for older folks who are trying to make sense of all of these developments that are happening constantly with fossil fuel emissions and all these changes that we're seeing in the world. People are just trying to make sense of it. And to close, I'd like to address recently, I was with the Secretary General of the United Nations, where I've worked as a consultant,
Bragg.
and the or facts, some of us do things besides be oily around children. And the Secretary General made very clear and made a global demand for nations across the world that they should stop advertising for fossil fuel companies because they are actively creating disinformation, creating dismay, creating chaos for the entire world, and perpetuating an outdated, irrelevant system that ultimately is wreaking havoc all across the world. And I believe we need to organize, mobilize, vote, and take action against the people who are actively destroying the planet that we love so dearly.
Thank you very much. Expert witnesses, defense. What you got?
Been pretty boring, huh?
Objection.
Words, words, words. That's what it's like for kids in school, huh? Boring. We do shit a little different. So, this is a thing that we do because we all care about the kids, don't we? Kids! Kids!
You don't care about kids! They don't care about kids! Escort them out!
You said no to kids! It's hard to get kids engaged these days, but we're doing hands-on learning. This is something we did in Ohio. Look, I'm gonna frack a Twinkie.
Woo! Fracking!
It doesn't even look like you're enjoying it. I don't even think you like fracking.
That's oil, kids.
Yeah.
That is a hands-on demonstration.
We're great at fracking. Just look at our balance sheet.
Kids are learning every day. And if you care about education, you care about engaging kids. You care about making sure that kids are an active part of their own future. And so here's what I gotta say. My mouth, the Twinkies are drier than I expected. That's my bad. I fracked out all the moisture. Oh, okay, all right. So you came for my book, right? What's Petro Pete? That guy fucks. That guy fucks.
Objection?
That guy fucks. And you should have put him down.
I object.
No. So you think, so here's my tea. You guys say, oh no, don't ban books. And now you want to take my boy Pete down? So what? So some books are allowed, some aren't. Why not Pete? That guy's a hero. Okay? We, additionally, with my boy Pete, we're giving school supplies. Big. So it's pretty.
We got one!
It's good.
You're getting $250,000.
Twinkie giveaway. Anybody? All right. So it's good because schools are lacking in supplies, but we, Big Oil, we're providing resources. We care. All right. We're going places nowhere has ever gone, bringing Pete into the school room. Still out of water. Okay. So another thing about kids, we want them reading, not on their phones. That's Pete to the rescue. And something else. You mentioned something else. Yeah, you heard me say that. You guys talked about how it's bad that we're going and we're pitching these jobs, right? We're like, you can work in this. Sorry, is the job market easy right now? It's tough.
All of you are unemployed. in
All
this
of
room.
you, none of you have a job, I've been told.
It's a Monday.
That's right. That's right. It's a Monday night, and we're going long. So
Objection, Your Honor.
What do you got to say, huh, Sunday?
The facts are clear. Renewable energy provides 50% more jobs than fossil fuel.
Who is this guy?
Tuesday. No. But you want a cool job. Fortnite.
Will you continue listing jobs? Because that one's not cool.
Fortnite. Gas. Oil. Space. Cars. Woo. Yep. Gas. What'd you say? Jesus Christ. Cancer. Bringing down the vibe over there in the 5th row.
Asthma. We just listing stuff.
Hospitals. My dad's grocery store. Nosebleeds. Everyone shut up. I've heard enough. All right, a couple more points. Everyone's always shitting on us for taking natural gas, right? But listen to the words. The kids know it. Natural gas. We're just taking what nature provides. We're teaching the kids to go out and play. We're teaching the kids to be in nature. What's more nature than natural gas? You're all saying nothing? Yeah, that's right. Nothing. Nothing. I know. And dinosaurs, you know? Something to think about. They made the ultimate sacrifice, and kids love dinosaurs. And what are we doing by ignoring the dinosaurs, sort of dishonoring every 4-year-old boy that's ever existed? The dinosaurs gave us a gift, and it's our right to honor them. Don't you think? Don't you think, Sunday?
I think that the sun shines on every corner of this planet and the wind blows across it, and wasting that sunshine and wind is the worst example we could ever give kids.
Oh, geez.
All right, James Taylor.
That is ultimately quite hard to come back from. But yeah, that sort of wraps up my defense. Because that I really don't have much from that. But again, Twinkie giveaway. All right.
Please keep her away from the children.
All right, we will hear our closing statements. Esteban.
1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Big oil!
Wow, this is a surprise.
I did a shitty job, being, obviously prosecution, cutting up and laughing at this. Again, that was pretty wild shit. Fracking a Twinkie. Okay, fine. Closing statement.
You all like it.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Top 5 largest oil and gas companies have used $3.6 billion in funding from 1986 to 2015 to convince us that climate change isn't real. And yet, we're suffering all of the negative consequences while they profit. This manipulation of our media and our narratives is illegal, and they should be found guilty.
All right, defense. Why don't you guys huddle up? Tell us why you're not guilty.
All right, so we had one win today, and it's that one person sitting right over there who's now on our side.
Yeah, see that? There's a hand raised. That person is locked in.
Yeah, and statistically, that's the only person we need in order to continue doing what we're doing. So we accomplished what we want.
Get ready to drive for NASCAR, baby. You made it.
Yeah. You're going on a Fortnite road trip. Damn it, I said the word wrong.
I mean, look. We're all adults here, okay? And look, is life perfect? No.
I'm always saying that.
Right? And look, we just are trying to, we're just trying to keep the lights on. We want there to be lights. All right?
For
the kids. And you guys, okay, if you didn't have plastics and all kinds of fossil fuel products for one day, you would be at our doorstep begging us.
Please, Mommy, turn the whites on.
Please.
Please, Mommy, my car won't stop.
My
That's what
Bobby's
you
made
sound
of
like.
hemp. I'm playing with a doll made of hemp. Does that sound nice? No, it's gonna get soggy like your fucking
My cocaine
straws.
is everywhere. Mommy, my cocaine is everywhere.
It's spraying when I snort, Mommy. I can't. Where's the plastic?
It is. Like, think about it for a second. Are we being realistic here?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I meant, are they being realistic? And no.
Then no.
Oil.
Big.
We are getting there. We are every time building with you guys. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, the audience is our jury. And
Yeah,
it
but
is
you guys
now-
get it.
It is now time for you all to cast your vote. Please scan the QR code on screen and vote.
I know my vote.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't supposed to bring our phones. They're always doing the wrong thing.
Plastic.
Excuse me, Donald Trump. Take him out.
Okay. Bailiff. Rasheda. Looks like our final verdict is in.
A lot of the voters were disenfranchised, actually. I can see in the back here that many of them their cameras couldn't pick up the QR
I'm
code.
sorry, Bailiff Rasheda, I need for you to.
They couldn't afford the good seats, so they weren't
Hello,
allowed to
sir,
vote.
I will hold you in contempt.
Is this the America you want to live in?
Yes.
Yes.
Bailiff Rasheda, I would like for you to read the verdict, but before I do, I just want to say something. These are real cases, and there are real cases up to 32 in the U.S. and hundreds of cases around the world that are pursuing the fossil fuel industry for climate damages or lying to the public about the scale of the crisis. Lawsuits like these have played a major role in holding other corporations just like big tobacco and opioid manufacturers accountable. But for many of the points that were made today, only some pieces of the dozens of campaigns and billions of dollars that fossil fuel companies have used to misinform us for decades to shift the guilt to you instead of them will be found to be illegal. And it will take years to process all of the active cases that do exist. However, right now, all of us in this room as creatives, as people who have influence over what audiences are consuming and the messages that they are taking away from the media, we have a need. And we need to take the opportunity to counter this misinformation. It's not too political. It doesn't matter if it's in your lane, because they have never seen it that way. And so now we are suffering the consequences. We need to make polluters pay by countering their falsehoods with our honest, creative, and entertaining storytelling about the realities of the climate crisis and how our communities are coming together to find and fight for solutions. So please support the Make Polluters Pay campaign where you can. Find action items to hold them accountable. And now the verdict from Bailiff Rasheda. Please, in the case of the people versus Big Oil.
They guilty.
Book 'em. That's tough. That's tough.
Get him out of here.
Off to jail we go.
My Twinkie.
Take your Twinkie with you.
And your water bottles.
Keep the water bottles?
The water. You guys can keep the water bottles.
Made of plastic, by the way.
That's
enough,
right.
Enough. God bless y'all. Take your time. All right, the court is now in recess, and this is the end of our programming for tonight. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to every last one of you. Thank you to Judge Simone Missick. Thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our comedians. Please make sure to make your way out of the theater, and we will see you all tomorrow. Get home safely. Thank you.